compadre, my best friend, my better half, my wife, Samantha Nelson, is over here to my left. Hi, Samantha.
It's me. Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
You have to speak up because they can't really hear you.
Thank you very much for having me.
We only have one mic, so we're kind of winging it. And I wanted to bring Samantha on here because I thought she had some great perspective that as my wife, I'm both putting myself out there because I know this may come back to bite me in the butt because now she's got a mic and an audience.
Tell you all the secrets.
All the behind the scenes. And I wanted to jump on here to take a moment to talk about the same question that we've been asking a number of my guests, if you've seen any of the shows here recently, about what's the one thing that men need to know in 2021. And I thought my wife would have some opinions on this particular topic, which, again, could be really refreshing and different and really scary all at the same time.
Why? Why would my ideas be scary?
Well, I don't know if you're going to say something about me.
Oh. I see. Your ego's kind of palpitating. Like, what will she reveal?
So, Mrs. Nelson, what is the one thing that men need to know in 2021?
Well, let me ask you this before I answer that question.
Okay.
What have other people said so far as a summary in case other people that are watching have missed? What are some things that other people said?
One said, get in the right rooms. That would be Terry Weaver. Gregarious, he said something about people, be around the right people. And then Amber, she said, what did she say? I forgot what she said. I think I already deleted it. Amber said, I can't remember. Amber, if you're watching.
Pipe in, Amber. Let him know. Give him a reminder about what you said. I was just curious what other people said.
Yeah. Well, if you'd watch my streams, then
I was actually like, oh, I think this is coming. Who's going to say that?
Which is really funny because, like, just so you know, she's busy. She doesn't have time to watch a lot of my stuff. So I always have to explain it over again. But we could save a lot of time in our marriage if you watch some of it.
I'm your biggest fan.
This is true.
That. I'm just busy.
So, with that, I feel like you're stalling now.
It's like when I order at a restaurant. I'm like, go around one more time. Yeah.
Are you sure that's what you wanted? Because I'm still...
Yeah. No, I mean, I have a lot of ideas, but I think the hardest part is trying to figure out the one thing, the one thing that, I think men need to know a lot of things. But the one most important thing this year, it's been a tough year.
It doesn't have to be the one most important thing. Even as I wrote the question, it's what's the one thing that you would say top of mind? And again, it's not the only thing.
Sure.
But it's an important thing.
Yeah. Based off of the men I have encountered this year, I would say...
How many men have you encountered this year? I think we need to have a conversation.
Based off of my experience this year, I would say the one thing I would like men to know is that they need to do the work for themselves.
All right. So I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. They have to do the work.
You don't look like you agree. What is that? What was
well, because I was thinking like I wanted to unpack it myself, and I wanted to pause because I want you to unpack that. Okay. Can you unpack what you believe that to mean?
Yeah, I just think that it's hard because sometimes you don't know that you have to do the work when you're not self-aware, right? So it's like...
And what is the work?
The work of understanding your past traumas, the work of understanding how you work in the world and how you relate to people, the work of like digging deep and really assessing your life and going like, I don't like where this is going and I need to figure out a new path, a better path. I just think that so many men that are in my life just live by default. You know, they just kind of like keep putting their heads down and trying to do like the best they can, but in that effort they're missing like the wild beauty of life and where their life could go, and just how much growth and expansion there could be. They're missing out on all that. And they're accepting kind of a less than life.
Yeah.
Do you know? And so it's like, do the work. Like, I know so many wives who are in, it's been a tough year on marriages, I think, 2020 and 2021, it's like brought to light a lot of things in relationships. And I just think that so many, here I'm going to generalize, right? And I don't mean to, but in my experience, a lot of women are hoping and praying that their husbands kind of step up figuratively in their marriage or in their relationship, and really start communicating and start building intimacy and wanting to experience life. And then a lot of men, in my experience, in my circles, are just like getting by.
Yeah, and I would say in response to that, I happen to be a men's coach, so I have some perspective on. A lot of my experience is a lot of men don't even know that there's work to be done. We have a habit in our culture and just through time, like we know something might be wrong, but we keep our head down, work hard, and don't feel. Like that's what men do. Head down, work hard, don't feel. Because we think or believe on some level, like if we try to do something different, like we'll lose whatever little we may have gained, whatever traction, whatever stuff we've built, whatever stuff we've created. A lot of men think that if they like upset the apple cart, like they could lose it. And so that's one component. And second of all, like men naturally, it seems, unfortunately, especially in older generations, like myself and I'm in Generation X and then millennials, don't have a lot of connection with emotion. Now that's getting better. It seems like in the next generation, they seem to be a little bit more in touch with their emotions. But
generally, right?
Generally speaking. But a lot of men don't even know what the work is because they think it's, they're just unaware, ignorant. Or number two is they think it's too scary because it means stuff that's going to be really familiar, like we got to get around in a circle and tell people about our feelings, and we have to get really emotional. Like, that's the things we think. It's like, there's no in between. We go from one extreme to the other. Like, oh my God, I got to tell everybody my crap.
Right.
And so men oftentimes, they sabotage themselves before they sabotage themselves. In other words, the first sabotage is not knowing and recognizing they need to do something about this experience that they're having. And then number two is if they don't, which a lot of them won't, another self-sabotage will kick in where they destroy their momentum in their business or, their income levels, their revenue streams, their sales numbers, their marriage. Like they're going to find other areas that are going to get influenced by that.
Yeah, I think that when I talk about like leaning in and doing the work, it's tough if you're just, I'm not even referring to the people that you're like, wow, you just don't even know, right? Like you're just so caught up in your stuff, you don't even realize. I'm kind of more talking about the people that like, you have an inkling that life's not working for you, but you just choose to ignore that, or like your partner, whether that's your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, whatever, is telling you this isn't working. And they're like something's not working, and you ignore that. That's kind of more who I'm speaking to, because how many times do I hear from people in my circle, like, I tried to talk to him and tell him, like, we need help, and the answer I get back is, it's not me, I don't need help. Like, we need to, I think men in general need, women as well, but if we're just going to be talking about the question with, well, what do men need to know? They need to lean into the fact, like, maybe I need to do something different and figure this thing out in a different way. And I think leaning away from the fear and what that all means, or the unknown or the uncertainty of that, and leaning into like, there's life ahead if I can like figure my stuff out and get over the thing that keeps me in this cycle of like reliving all my shit over and over again. Do you know what I mean? So like, do the freaking work.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Well, I was going to say, you get to ask me the question.
I do. I wanted to ask you that question.
And it segues.
Do you want me to ask you that question now?
Would you please?
Angus Nelson, tell us what's one thing.
The microphone's right here.
Well, I know, but I can't move it.
Okay.
What's one thing men need to know in 2021, sir?
Well, I was going to say ask for help. Like, something that men are not typically known for is asking for help. And whether it's mental health issues, whether it's in your business, your career, your sales pipeline, like whatever it is in your life, what we don't understand relationally, economically, you know, our aspirations and our dreams all require other people. And we think by isolating ourselves that we're doing ourselves a favor. Like, I can do it alone. I can figure this out. I'm going to be the lone wolf. And that's not how it works. Every wolf needs a pack. And we don't get around other men to have these kinds of honest candor and conversation. It's more like we get around and we bullshit, you know, we talk fantasy football and we play on the softball team, we go bowling, or we do these things. And that's all like a way for men to kind of have a pseudo experience without actually having depth. And it's like
someone called it like doing the work like shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, like instead of like looking eye to eye. Yeah. Like men like to just be like, yeah, we're parallel, we're in the same room together. Yeah. But
we won't actually just engage.
Yeah.
And so that's where I would say, like, men were really missing the opportunity of being able to ask for help. And that might mean going to your boss or going to a colleague and saying, hey, I need some help with this, whatever that is, with your role, with your responsibility, or I need a break, like mental health, like I need help. And when you ask for help, it is not asking in a context of showing weakness. It's actually being responsible and showing power. And when we ask for help, we invite others into an opportunity because we all have different skill sets. And I heard it said once that we all need someone outside our jar to read our own labels. And other people can look at our situation and be like, oh, you know what you need, bam, 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 bam. And even you yourself can look at someone else and hear their story, and you can say, oh, this is what you need to do. And you go, boom, boom, boom. But when it comes to your own stuff, your own issues, your own challenges, like we get all weird. All of us do, even as entrepreneurs or startup founders. Like, that's another thing, like founders and startups, like I came from that space. They have put on a good face for everybody. And they let the VCs know, oh, everything's copacetic. It's all good. They go to the board. Everything's fantastic. We got it under control. And meanwhile, behind the scenes, they're falling apart. They're dying, and they're under all this stress, and they're dealing with addiction issues. They're dealing with, you know, all these emotional trauma pieces. And in entrepreneurship especially, nothing will get you to challenge your beliefs and your stories that you tell yourself than doing your own thing, starting your own company. Yeah, it exposes all your cracks.
So why do you think in that scenario someone would not ask for help, though? I mean, I don't think that they go... I mean, do you think that they make a conscious decision to be like, I'm going to isolate myself? I don't think people would say that. What are people saying?
They say, I got this. Oh, I can figure this out. Oh, I'm strong. I'm smart. I'm capable. I'm high capacity. I can do all this. I'll figure it out. Everything's figure-outable. That's a new phrase that's going around. And the truth is, no, it's not. There are some things about your emotional, relational levels that you doing the same thing over and over again has been your modus operandi. And it's caused you a lot of pain and you don't even realize it. And so to ask for help, even if that's counseling or a therapist or, you know, something like that, you know, a professional, gets you so much farther, so much faster, and it's like it collapses time because they help you work through all the crap so quickly, and they can point out and identify your own bullshit that you've told yourself.
Yeah. So I think kind of what we're saying kind of goes hand in hand.
Wherever we go, whatever we do.
No, I do, which is funny because I didn't know what you were going to say. I wasn't sure what you were going to say. This is not pre-planned.
It was not.
No.
I wasn't going to tell you what I was going to say.
So the idea of like doing the work and not thinking like you can do it on your own.
Yeah. And asking for help.
Yeah. Because ultimately, if you don't, you just keep reaching your limits.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. You're going to just operate at your highest limit. Mm-hmm. And for some, that may be, you might be high functioning. You might be high functioning, but then others, you're just stuck and you can't ever get any further at all.
Yeah. And people wonder why, you get to some certain level and you're like, why can I ever get past this, sales number? Why can I never get past this revenue? Why can I never get out of debt? Why can I never get out of paycheck to paycheck? Like all of these different cycles are built around belief systems. And nothing changes until you change. And that's the truth that people don't want to own. Is like the only common denominator around my chaos is me.
Yeah.
People don't recognize this. And that's why I say, like, you've got to ask for help. If you're experiencing this ridiculousness and you want to get off that train, like, you've got to ask other people for help. And again, it might be a professional or it might be a friend. It might be a colleague. But it's going to somebody. Let somebody in
to help you do the work.
even if it's your spouse, like, hey, I realize that there's some cracks in our relationship, and I've got some blind spots. Like, what am I missing?
Yeah, that's a super vulnerable question because I think that's scary to hear the answer because it really could be anything, and maybe I don't really want to know.
Which is truth. Like for a lot of guys, especially like. And here's the thing. I believe for a lot of this stuff, it's not that you don't know. I believe all of us have some insights and inklings that our intuition has already like shown our hand, has like exposed some stuff to us that we feel might be true, might be going on, whatever. But there's this sense of denial that if I just pretend it's not there, it's going to go away.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean in terms of, like, the work. Like, we know, like, something's not, the way I'm doing it, it could be better. It needs to change or, but instead we just kind of like, I'll think about it tomorrow, or hopefully it'll go away tomorrow when I wake up. And it's like, no, it won't, actually. Yeah.
And it's just like, festering inside, just roaring, getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
The thing I think that I'm just connecting to even more and more over the 2020, 2021 is that when we choose to ignore the work in our life that we have to do, it's not just us that suffers. I mean, I think if there's anything that this past year and a half has taught me is the interconnectedness. And so, like, when you're not well internally, we're not well. Yeah. And when we're not well, our kids aren't well. And so we just want to, like, pretend. And, if we don't lean in and do the work and get curious about stuff and then say, like, you know what, I'm serious about this. I need to make some changes. If we don't do that, then it's like the poison just keeps seeping out into all these areas of our life until pretty soon we turn around and there's like carnage and chaos everywhere. And we're like, how did this happen? Yeah. Well, this came out of the blue. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, no, it's kind of been years in the making, right? And so it's like, we think it's harder to ask for help. We think it's harder to do the work, but it's actually harder to just put our heads down and pretend. And then like in 5 years, have to pull apart this life where we're like, oh my God, I'm starting over, or I got to figure out like what was my part in this whole big mess.
You made me think of, remember that guy, he said that we confuse pain and pleasure. And so we see an area of our life and we think, wow, if we really address that, it's going to be super painful. So instead, let's go plan another vacation. Let's buy another car. Let's, get another video game. And so we do things that on the surface, we're like, oh, we're just going to do this because this will be fun. And then we can ignore, the problems. And so we seek the thing that we think is going to give us pleasure, but only mounting behind that is more pain.
Yeah.
But we perceive that if we address the issue, we're going to have pain. And yet that is what actually will bring the pleasure. Like putting in the small, time of investing into a hard thing will advance you so much faster, so that on the other side, the company, the relationship, the marriage, the parenting or whatever will be so much more happier.
Yeah.
And we'll have pleasure. And so we confuse pain and pleasure, and that's what gets us into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, 100%.
We're not doing the right things.
Mm-hmm.
So that takes me to this next piece I wanted to ask you about was, we talk about opportunity mindset. Like, what does it look like to have an opportunity mindset? What does that mean to you?
Well, and we're talking about that because there's a mastermind that you're starting tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And your focus is 100% opportunity mindset.
Right.
Yeah. And that's been something that I'm even learning and trying to wrap my brain around myself in my own personal life, opportunity mindset, which has always felt very like, manifest it and it will come, and like, I don't know. It's been hard for me to unlearn some of the things and embrace kind of myself as the creator of my life. And so opportunity mindset, what does that mean to me? I just finished a book this morning called How to Stop That Shit. Is that what that is?
And there's it's right over there.
Oh yeah, no. Stop Doing That Shit. That's what it's called.
By Gary Bishop.
Holy moly, that rocked my world.
It's like one of those books I wish I wrote.
Well, it rocks my world because as I'm reading it, I'm knowing that it's everything that you talk to men about. Yeah. And then I'm understanding why men that you're working with are getting such great, amazing results. It's because the framework that you're teaching them, which exactly matches up with that. That's been really exciting to read. Okay, so opportunity mindset for me is taking the focus, taking my attention off of my pain, my the things that keep me stuck in my cycles, my limiting beliefs, the feelings that I'm broken, all these things that kind of like we like to focus on and play with in a sandbox that like keep us busy, but like never let us make any difference and move forward and do forward progress. All those things that keep us stuck. Opportunity mindset for me is like letting go of those, like releasing them and looking forward into my future and deciding intentionally about what I want that future to be, and then just building that. And then in the pursuit of that, building who I see myself to be, what I want in life, what I want my life to look like, what I want my family to look like. In pursuit of that, all the other stuff kind of falls by the wayside because I'm letting go of all the old systems that have kept me stuck because I'm building new ones. Yeah. And so I'm looking for opportunity instead of looking at my chaos. That's what opportunity mindset is for me. What's it for you?
Ditto, just what you said. No, for me, it's really a growth mindset, and similar to what you just described is letting go of the old, right? Because we'll build stories around our old.
Oh gosh, right? Those stories, yeah.
And then our beliefs are dictated by whatever we decided the story is we want to attach to what happened to us. And so for me, it's really a matter of asking a simple question: is what does this make possible? Like we can look at our past and we can blame negative things, abuse, trauma, whatever. And yet we all know tons of people who we admire who have made it past a lot of the limitations externally. But even more so, they've made it past all the stuff internally. That's a bigger challenge. And for all of us, it's that voice that we have in our head that says, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve, or I don't have what it takes. And when you learn to overcome that and realize that that voice is just keeping you into a little box, it's keeping you safe. And life cannot be lived in an enjoyable and satisfying way unless it includes risk. Our life must include risk for it to feel like an adventure. And if we don't take risk in the world, if we don't face fears, it was Joseph Campbell that said, "In the cave you fear to enter lies the treasure that you seek." And so we're so busy trying to stay safe, loading up our 401k, loading up the future. Like, we'll do that from a future focus, but what happens when you get to that and you have disabilities because you're elderly, or you don't make it because you don't live that long? Like, we're placating the possibilities of adventure to the future, and even that keeps us safe. And so we're betting on the future instead of betting on the present. And the word today, the acronym for that is the only day actually yours. And for me, having an opportunity mindset is going to each and every day, looking for my opportunities to invest in myself and those around me in such a way that I'm building tomorrow's momentum. And so when I look at my situation, whether it's my past, whether it's situations or some news I just got, the question I ask is, what does this make possible? And let that creative force that's in me, this level of expansion and abundance and supply, give me answers to really powerful stuff. And give me solutions for other people's problems and solving other people's pains. And when I do that, magical stuff can happen.
Well, I think that the main component for me as well in opportunity mindset is the fact that I have creative power in determining what my future looks like. And so many of us live life like wherever this takes me,
We acquiesce
like,
or default.
But I'm at the whims of my kids, or I'm at the whims of my job, or, I don't really have a say. And I think opportunities mindset for me is like, no, I have creative power and I get to design what the future looks like.
Yeah.
And when you buy into that, like wholeheartedly buy into that, you begin to realize that the responsibility for your future in terms of like what you see and what you want, we don't have to know how to make it happen, but we are responsible for what we're experiencing today and tomorrow. And so that's been eye-opening to me as well.
And when you see life from that perspective, like what is possible, we can go back in history and look at the people who traveled across the globe, who traveled foreign lands, who took on, a heap of unknowns. And they had this level of audacity to know, like, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make this happen. And we're going to, do whatever it takes. And now in this day and age, we're in this place of comfort and that place of safety. And we have really lost the ability to flex the muscles that we've been given.
Yeah, walking in uncertainty is hard. And I think that it's also a temperament thing. Like some people are
more inclined
to be fine in uncertainty and to find it exhilarating to be in uncertainty. And other people are like a cat, like this is not how life should be. Yeah. And so, uncertainty is tough. It's tough.
And you need different tools. So in that context, like someone who finds uncertainty, crazy and disconcerting needs some kind of a tool set that can help them navigate that. Whereas somebody who, is more adventurous and they don't really connect with stability or details, they need tools for that. And so that's why we need each other. Again, going back to what I was saying, is asking for help.
Yeah, asking for help and doing your work.
See how it all comes full circle, right? By the way, have you guys heard all the chimes my wife is making on her phone and her watch?
So it's on silent, but also there's there are enchiladas in the oven, and that's what that timer was. So the enchiladas are maybe burning right now.
Oh, gosh.
So
What?
I should maybe go.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, we'll bring it in for a landing. As Mama talks about her enchiladas, and they're going to be delicious. Is this, all of this opportunity mindset, all of this, one thing that men need to know is, you know, the reason why we got into it, the emphasis of this was because a the opportunity mindset mastermind launches tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so tonight is the last time you can get involved. Men, if you're at a place where some of the stuff that we've said, ladies, if you've got a man in your life who you know needs this kind of level of connection and accountability and a kick in the pants and eyes opening and doing the work, connecting with others and asking for help. Yeah. Like, this is the opportunity for you, men and women, to work together. And ladies, tell your men it's time. Yeah. Men, look in the mirror and say it's time. Like, I will help you. If you need questions, answers, reach out to me. But I'll put the link right here. You can simply go here to the evolvemen.us/mastermind. And you can learn more information there. Get all the details. Okay. Hey, that's really good. Hey, nice work. Yeah. Now I'll get rid of that one. And then let me just move it up here. And then it's like out of our faces. Hey, go up here. That'll be like the screen capture. We'll just have our hands right up there.
Yeah.
And so that's our invitation for you. And
and I don't think it's an accident. I think if people are listening, this is the universe knocking at your door saying it's time. You've been ignoring the call for a while. Here is an opportunity for you to dig in and lean in and do the work, not only for yourself, but for all the people around you and all the lives that are counting on you to bring your full, wholehearted self. Yep. And so I don't think it's an accident if you're listening, and I think this is your chance.
Time for you to go full out, go dive in, dig deep, and discover your destiny.
Yeah.
That's the invitation for you. And so you choose. Like, this is your life. And are there other programs out there? Absolutely. Are there other coaches out there? Absolutely. But if you're here now, hello, like, your intuition led you here to stay on, to not go anywhere, and to listen to us banter around enchiladas and the depths of manhood. So thank you guys so much for diving in. Thank you, Sammy, for coming and being a part. She's pretty awesome. I don't know if you can tell.
Thank you for doing your work.
Well, my pleasure. I'm pretty fond of you. And thank you for your support and helping me do that.
Now I'm going to go rescue enchiladas.
All right, y'all. If you need anything, let me know. We're here for you. Take care.